Voila. Let's do some more VLR. In just a second after I do this. Okay.
It's probably a little late to say this, but you know Alice is still in the infirmary, so...
Pick ally, right? So I'll choose it anyway.
Yes.
I know. Now it would be fair to betray someone who isn't voting. And his face broke into a warm, happy smile. Not to be happy, but I was like a ray of sunshine. Yeah, this isn't new. And the Notre game didn't seem so scary.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, Sigma. Siggy.
Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you, Ambidex game.
Luna and I stepped out of the AB room. Alright, let's go have a look at the results.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now please direct your attention to the results screen.
What the frick? She woke up? I'm dead.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
What? It wasn't possible? I blinked from my eyes and looked again. No, that's not possible. How can Alice be betrayed? Question I would never know the answer to. There was a sharp quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. Couldn't feel anything flowing. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. That should be the anesthetic, so for real. I blinked and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, I felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. Legs began to wobble and then gave out entirely as it crumpled to the floor.
Sigma! Sigma! Hang on! Oh no! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma! Sigma!
No, why?
Eyelids felt like they were made of lead, but I forced them to open. Everything was growing blurry. I noticed that the door of the second AB room was open. No one had gone into that room. I watched them all, and yet she stood in an apparition that couldn't possibly be real. Owl eyes. The world was gradually going black, and my mouth refused to form words, but my head echoed with questions. How? Why? What was she doing there? Had she run in the last moment after Luna and I entered our room? Even if she had, why'd she betray? Starting to close over my mind as well, and my questions were gone forever. Ding dong, 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 ding dong. Thanks, Alice. Why did it take this long even on skip?
Round.
Luna stepped out of the AB room.
Why? What happened to... It's not fair to betray someone who isn't voting. I thought...
Nothing I could think of to say. Even I didn't really understand why I picked betray instead. I almost felt unconscious. I think that some of the part of my mind was making the decision. Perhaps I'd been possessed by some sort of evil spirit that had moved my fingers to the betray button against my will. Right, well, we should go see the results.
We already know what they are. It's just simple math.
Looking at her eyes was more painful than any punch I'd ever taken. Turned away and almost ran towards the projector, anything to get away from those eyes.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention. Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
What? Wasn't possible? Blinked from my eyes and looked again. No, how can Alice both betray? It's not possible. Alice? Standing inside of the second room on the left. Room that should have been empty. Why? Mine was still reeling. Where had she come from? I was trying to form a sentence. She began to move towards us. From around my ear, I heard a chorus of muted gasps. Soon we were all united in our surprise and confusion. Alice drew to stop in front of me and glanced up at the display.
Thought you'd get an easy couple points, huh? Not so easy when you have to look your victim in the eye, is it? Coward.
Me a coward? You got some balls saying that to me if she picked betray? Why are you even
You
here?
gave me the antivirus, didn't you? Tenmyoji told me. Thank you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, honestly.
But you should still be under the effects of the anesthetic.
Yes, well, I still am. A bit. I have a throbbing headache, and I can barely stand. It's horrible. I'm more resistant to anesthetics than most people, a result of my training. I have a feeling Zero Senior knew that. They gave me way more than the standard dose of that gas when they kidnapped me. In any event, a few minutes ago I woke up in the infirmary. Tenmyoji explained what was going on, and I got here as fast as I could.
So you showed up right after we gone into the AV room?
Yes. Right in the nick of time, too. About 10 seconds before the deadline, as I recall.
You did that just so you could betray us?
Right. What? Don't I get to do that? I mean, it turned out to be the right thing to do, didn't it? You two chose betray. If I'd stayed back there, I'd have lost 2 points.
So you're saying it was self-defense?
Yes.
Full of crap. Self-defense my butt. Just betray because you wanted out. You got 6 BP. If I picked ally, you had 9. That's what you were trying to do, right?
So what if I was?
Are you serious? You would have killed me. Look. I only have 1 BP. You were this close to murdering me. Just admit it. You were planning to kill me so you could escape.
Don't be stupid. I knew you'd choose betray. There was...
Tell the truth.
That is the truth. Why am I the only one getting the 3rd degree here? Look at those results. 2 other people just tried to kill someone.
Fine, Dio.
Yes. If Dio had chosen ally, Phi would have killed Tenmyoji. And if she'd chosen ally, Dio would have killed her.
Yeah, but we knew Dio was gonna pick betray anyway, so.
I don't want to be rude, but it looks like Clover and Kay tried to trick one another.
Obviously. Have you met Clover?
Not that it seems to have worked. If either one had chosen ally, the other one would have 9 BP right now.
Turn to look at the results again. Before I'd only been looking at my own. I hadn't realized that there was only one word all across the roster: betray. Whatever trust we'd managed to build had fallen apart. Everyone was suspicious of everyone else. Had it been the bombs? Or had it been something else? Whatever the reason, if it kept up, we'd never manage to escape. Be trapped in the cycle of 0-point rounds for the rest of our lives. Something had to be done. Closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Alright guys, pay attention. Probably already all figured this out, but we can't keep going like this. If we don't start being a little more trusting, we're never gonna get out of here. We need to work together. I have been talking to a wall.
My apologies, Sigma, but I need to think on something for a bit. I would appreciate being left alone.
Okay.
I'll be leaving too. Things are getting a little too intense here for my delicate constitution. Sorry.
Dio.
Well, in that case,
At 2-5?
yeah, sorry.
Without another word, she turned and left the warehouse. Dio and Kay quickly followed suit.
See? There's your answer. In the end, everyone's just thinking about themselves. So I would appreciate it if you could not treat me like I'm the only villain here. Come on, Clover. Let's go.
Hold on! I'm coming! Are you feeling okay? I was really worried, you know?
I watched them walk away, Clover practically jumping with delight to have Alice back. For long, they reached the yellow door and disappeared beyond it.
Everyone's gone.
You aren't going to leave too?
No,
Are you sure it's his
I
betray?
know, but I still believe in you, Sigma. I think your hand must have just slipped or something, right?
My chest hurt, and when I blinked, I felt something hot and wet prick the corners of my eyes. Luna, I bit my lip. Before I could think of anything to say, the metallic rumble of the doors closed and echoed through the warehouse.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the Star Round. Star keys are required to open the gates. There is no set limit on usage of the Star keys. The Ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the players wish to open them.
As many times as we want, huh?
Yes, as long as we have the star keys. That means we can keep playing the AB game over and over, too. Sigma? Could you show me your bracelet? Do you
Why?
remember what Zero Jr. said?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically. The pair and solo assignments hop around a bit too.
Yeah, I remember. Let's see here. I'm a blue. Sorry, I'm a cyan. What about you? Magenta.
I'm a magenta pair.
Wonder what the others are?
They could be anything, I suppose. We won't know until we have a look.
Got about 80 minutes until the next chromatic door is open. What should we do now?
Everyone else has gone off on their own.
Yeah. Physically and emotionally. Really don't like how this is going. It won't matter how many times we repeat the AB games if nobody trusts anybody else. Gonna be able to get out of here?
Maybe it would help if we all had a common goal. Something to unite our hearts and minds.
Like everyone getting 9 points and getting out together? Nah, this is too much. This is too big of an ask. I already got something like that. I want to get out of here. Seems like a pretty clear goal to me. Everybody chose betray, including me.
Well, what if we have an enemy?
An enemy?
Yes, a common foe. Like the person who set the bombs, for instance.
After they were coming back from the lab, I told her about the bomb, while she gave Alice and Quark the elevator. Yeah, that might work. Figure out which one of us planted the bombs, and everyone else would have to work together against them.
Right.
How to figure out who it is?
Do you have any clues?
Clues, huh? That's right. The memory card. Pulled it out of my back pocket and held it out towards her.
What's this?
I told you it's a memory card. It was under the bomb we found in the lab. Think whoever set the bomb dropped it?
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what's on it though. Couldn't find any kind of memory card reader.
Oh, I guess we can't really use it then. Oh, wait a second. You know what? I think I might have seen something.
Huh?
Yes, I remember the infirmary. I saw it when I was searching the infirmary with Dio and Quark. There was a memory card just like that one.
Then
Yes, I think we can see what's on it. The computer there should be able to read it.
Luna and I exploded into the infirmary, nearly running into Alice, Clover, and Tamiyuji. Quark was still there as well, of course, but he was just as we left him asleep on the bed.
What are you doing here?
I opened my mouth to retort and thought better of it. I really wanted people to start trusting each other while real change starts to help. Quickly as I could, I explained the second bomb and the memory card and how we come to the infirmary to hopes we could discover the contents of the ladder.
Okay.
Then stick it in already!
Go ahead.
Right. As Luna has said, there was a small slot under the screen, exactly the right size of a memory card. Within moments, the screen was filled with what appeared to be random letters. What is this?
6 rows, 22 letters each.
It looks like the odd rows use one set of letters, and the even rows use another set. In other words, the first 2 rows just repeat. Yeah.
Some kind of code or something?
It doesn't look random to me. I think there might be a pattern. I just don't know what it is.
Was there anything else on there? No, it doesn't look like it.
All we get is this gibberish. Hey Alice, you haven't said anything for a while. What's
Does
up?
any of this look familiar to you, Clover?
What do you mean?
Have you seen something like this before? Maybe during your training?
This is...
So you do recognize it.
All right, knock it off, you two. How about you share it with the rest of the class?
Alice sighed and stretched her neck from side to side.
I believe this is an encoded message from a terrorist organization.
What?
They call themselves the Myrmidons.
What are the Myrmidons?
Put simply, they're a bunch of thugs who are trying to destroy or dismantle most of human civilization.
So this thing we're looking at, you think it's theirs?
Well, they have a number of different codes, but I do think this is one of them.
Then the bomb? It was set by one of the Myrmidons, wasn't it?
Yes, well, I can't say for sure, of course, but it seems likely.
Darn, I've got a ton of questions for you. Let me start with this one. What the heck does this thing say?
I don't know. How am I
What?
supposed to decode it? I don't have the key. Without a key, it would take literally hundreds of years to decode.
What about you, Clover?
Well, if Alice doesn't know how, I sure don't.
See.
Not much we can do then. Come back to the code stuff later. I've got another question. Alice Clover, who the heck are you? Why do you know so much about this code?
That's...
Told me your job was to eliminate enemies of the state or something like that. What the heck kind of job is that? Next time tell us what you do.
Sorry, but I can't.
Why not?
Because you might be one of them. You might be the person who set the bomb.
It's idiotic. Of course I'm not.
Really? And where's your proof? For all I know, you're my enemy. I can't tell you anything.
I'm not your enemy. I'm your ally. I'm your friend. I just want us all to get out of here. So please tell us. Please. We need to find out who did this so we can all escape. We have too little information and we need your help. Fine, if you don't want to tell us about yourself, then just tell us about the Myrmidons. What else do you know about them?
I'm sorry.
Before I could blink, she leapt out of the run out of the room. Hey, wait, Alice. Took off after her?
How long are you going to keep following me?
Until you tell me what you know.
And why don't you just ask Clover?
Clover.
You already know she works with me.
Well, yeah.
And why don't you...
I wanted to hear from you.
Why?
It's a good question. Remember the crew quarters over this garden? Got paired up for 2 separate rounds. That means I spent more time with you than anybody else. Maybe that's it. I guess I'm just curious about you.
What are you talking about?
Spun around behind it, but she got a blush of red on her cheeks. Walked down the path to where it extended, or ended, next to the pond. Stayed silent. Alice sat down on the bench. We gazed at the smooth surface of the pond for several moments before she began to speak.
You don't hate me?
What? Why?
I tried to kill you.
You mean the AB game?
Yes. I was so scared. Who wouldn't be? Kidnapped and locked up, forced to play some sort of bizarre game. And then we found that bomb. I know I probably sounded calm, but as soon as we found that thing, all I wanted to do was run away from it as fast as I could. Things just went downhill from there.
What do you mean?
I remember hearing that Quark had collapsed and running to the infirmary with everyone else. When I got there, I realized I couldn't understand what anyone was saying, and everything looked... I don't know how to describe it. It was like watching a video on fast forward, only it was real. Then I started to feel like... It's hard to explain. I guess you could say I didn't feel like I was myself, and it only got worse.
Probably the Radical Six.
Yes, I think so. I don't remember much after that. But when I woke up in the infirmary, suddenly all that fear was back.
Oh, my dog's barking. I'll be right back. I'm gonna do this last marker. I'll be just a minute. Okay.
So all I could think about was getting out of this place as fast as I could. It never even crossed my mind that it could kill you. God help me, even if it had, I don't think I would have cared. See? I'm horrible. You hate me, don't you? Just do it!
What? Do what?
Kill me! Get it over with!
What the heck, Alice? I'm not gonna kill you. I don't even hate you.
You're lying! I could have killed you! I would have killed you!
Come on, calm down. No one's killing anyone. A single tear rolled down Alice's cheek. And another, leaving shining lines across her face. When I reached down, I saw her tense just slightly. Slowly, I brushed my thumb across her cheek and off, taking her tears with it.
Why are you doing this? You know, you kind of remind me of my father.
They happen to be an Egyptian, king? Who were, that's who you are after all, right? People who killed your dad? And that's who you're after, right?
Yes.
Anything to do with the Myrmidons?
Will you promise not to tell Clover that I cried?
Come on.
If you keep your mouth shut, I'll tell you what you want to know. About myself. And about the Myrmidons. Deal?
Sure. Lips are sealed.
Really?
What, crying? I don't remember any crying.
Good. Alright then.
Alice took a deep breath and began. My father is Egyptian, my mother is French. They met while my mother was in Egypt on vacation, and married shortly thereafter. When I was 3, then we all moved to the US. My father was a scientist, and his field was cloning. Was recruited by an American lab, which is why we moved. Both of my parents had to use English around me from the time I was born, so I didn't have any problems adapting to life in the United States. By my 9th birthday, we'd been there for 6 years. That was when it happened. Middle of the day, my mother showed up at school. I was red and puffy. She didn't say anything to me on the drive home. When we arrived, there were several policemen there to meet us. You're 9 years old and you're a calf leg tight. My father had always been a very punctual man, and when their time came and when no sign of him, even I began to realize something terrible had happened. It wasn't until several years later that I finally learned the truth. Father's lab had been attacked by terrorists, and he had been kidnapped. For the rest of my childhood, my mother raised me by herself. Didn't realize it then, but it must have been incredibly difficult for her. A single mother alone in the country where any relatives were a transatlantic flight away. Did her best not to let me see it, but every so often, when she thought she was alone, the mask would fall away, and at every line of her face I could see exhaustion and loneliness. Much as I missed my father, it was those moments that made me wish more than anything that he'd never been taken. Fortunately, I was an excellent student, and especially well math. I earned a full ride scholarship straight out of high school, and spent the next several years studying. After graduation, I took a job with the Department of Defense, hoping that they might have the resources to help me look for my father. I was immediately assigned to the Special Office of Internal Security. Purpose is to investigate and sometimes deal with terrorist organizations and other serious threats to the state. I thought my mother wasn't happy about my decision, but she chose to remain silent about it. Eventually, I learned that the terrorist organization that had taken my father, none other than the Myrmidons, although at the time when that name didn't mean anything to me. They were suspected of human cloning. Specifically, it was thought that they had been using cloning techniques to copy their most useful members and expand their ranks. The Myrmidons apparently believed that they could use cloning to create a new race of humans. Now, alas, I knew the reason for my father's abduction. Commander of the Myrmidons is a man named Left. We know his name and his gender, but not his appearance or his age. Myrmidons are closely associated with a cult known as Free Soul. We believe that Free the Soul provides the funding, but trying to pin any kind of misdeeds on the cult's leader, a man named Brother, is like trying to nail Jello to a wall. Brother is supposed to be fairly advanced in years, and rumor says he's so old he can't even get out of bed. Fortunately, his mind seems to be as sharp as ever. At that point, I hit a wall and knew the Myrmidons had been behind my father's kidnapping, but that was all I could learn about them. One day I got a tip that some of them were hiding in the building in the Nevada desert. I headed out immediately. On the way there, my car had some engine trouble and stalled out. I was trying to decide what to do when an SUV appeared out of nowhere. I'll give you one guess who was behind the steering wheel. Clover. That was the first time we'd met. There were 4 other people in the car with her, and when I asked them what they were doing, I got what was just about the last answer I expected. Told me they'd been locked up inside the very building I'd been on my way to investigate. They were currently in pursuit of the people who kidnapped them in the first place. Priorities shifted very quickly. After a short discussion, I convinced him to allow me to come along. Hope was to find the people they were chasing, who I was certain were Myrmidons. In the end, however, we were unable to track them down. Still don't know where they might have gone. Eventually, we took Clover and their companions to SOIS headquarters. Decided that involving the police would only complicate things. Questioning, it was determined that the people who had instigated the particular event were not connected to the Myrmidons. We did, however, discover the mysterious disappearance and subsequent reappearance of several children 9 years prior was connected to the Free the Soul. Also, a 6th person in the SUV, although they weren't riding it per se. Middle-aged man, who I'll call H for now, had been bound and placed in the trunk. According to the other 4, he had been behind the disappearance of the children 9 years earlier. We also learned that it's a pharmaceutical company, a major player in the world stage, effectively controlled by Free the Soul. More specifically, I suppose he was a member of the Free the Soul and very committed to their cause. So why did he kidnap all those children? Apparently, he had been part of an experiment designed to test the ability of certain people to access what's called a morphogenic field. I don't imagine you ever heard of it before, so I'll give you a quick rundown. Simply put, these people can access a sort of field that allows their consciousness to resonate with the consciousness of certain other people. To be honest, it might sound simpler to just call it telepathy. SOIS has heard that the particular ability before, actually used a number of investigations, so I was surprised to learn of its existence. I'm getting tired. I was shocked, if ever, to learn that these experiments had been carried out by a member of Free the Soul. If that was the case, then Brother must have known about it. I thought of him discovering a way to control and harness the power was terrifying. It wasn't too long after the incident in Nevada that another tip about the Myrmidons crossed my desk. This time it claimed that the Myrmidons intended to launch a large-scale biological terrorist attack. Bosses decided that we needed more agents to deal with the threat at the magnitude, and Clover was recruited. Because she'd been a test subject in H's experiment, we knew that she had the ability to access the morphogenic field, and we wanted to put the ability to use. several months of training, she was sent on her first mission. Be tasked with the infiltration and investigation of the Meridian cloning lab. I was assigned to be her commanding officer. Hope that our investigation might also give me a lead on my father's whereabouts. Unless I had a chance to find out what had happened to him, I wouldn't let that chance pass me by. Perhaps that was what kept me from noticing the truth. The whole operation was a trap. Lab was fake and Clover was captured almost immediately. Got there as fast as I could, but when I arrived, the building was only an empty shell. All of those conspirators, who had pretended to be researchers in the lake, had already fled. Searched frantically for Clover until the last in a basement room I found her. She had been tied to a chair, but on the floor next to her was another body. It was my father. It looked as if he'd just been dumped there. When I got to him, his body was already cold, covered in dark, ugly bruises. It wasn't until later that I learned he had died from ruptured organs and internal bleeding. Beaten him to death. As soon as Clover had been captured, the Myrmidon in the mask had come to visit her. He said that unless she wanted to end up like my father, she would leave them alone and tell her masters at the SOAS to do likewise. In retrospect, they must have known who I was and who my father was. That was why they killed him. Perhaps they thought that they were sending a message to me. Or that once he was gone, I'd lose my reason for chasing them. They were very, very wrong. Took Clover with me and left. Tried to console myself with the fact that I had at least been able to save her. Sometime later, I received a call from a coroner. Told me there was something I needed to see. There was a morgue with my father, cold and pale, on the steel table. Barely stand to look at him, but the coroner insisted. On his arm were 2 rows of numbers comprised of 8s and 9s. Took me a moment to recognize my father's handwriting. He had carved them into his own skin. On his chest was another message, but they were letters. This time, not numbers. Not many, just enough to make a short sentence. I love you, Alice. I broke down crying right there in the morgue. They were the first tears I shed since the operation had started. There was no stopping them. There would be no forgiveness. Not for the monsters who put my father through this. They destroyed my family. I would make them pay, even if I had to die to do it. That night I made a promise to myself. I would avenge my father. It didn't take long to figure out that the numbers he'd written were latitude and longitude. Put into a chemical factory that had been disguised as an abandoned building. Further investigation revealed that it was the mother lode we'd been looking for, the headquarters of the Myrmidians. And my father must have known that how things would turn out. Knowing he was going to die, he had written the directions to our enemy's fortress on his own body. Sacrifice is too much for me to waste this opportunity with recklessness. This time our operation would succeed. I wouldn't let my sidemen put Clover, or any of my other agents, in danger. Took our time and gathered information, we did our research, and we planned. Finally, we were ready. December 25th, 2020 was going to be the day we finally set foot inside the Myrmidian stronghold. But then on the 22nd, only 3 days before the operation was scheduled to begin, a man in the gas mask appeared. So you inhaled the gas, passed out, woke up here. I woke up in the AB room.
Well, there it is. Everything that's happened with the Myrmidons and me. I left a few of the details out, of course, but you get the idea.
Yeah, thanks. Give me a sass or a smile and sit up.
We should go back.
Not yet. Story explained a lot, but it's still one big question.
Which is?
Who here is a Myrmidon? One was planted those bombs, and based off the code we found, it's pretty clear the person is a Myrmidon.
Yes.
Right? And I agree that we need to figure out who they are.
What do you propose we do?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you about. Do you have any clues?
Well, if I could decrypt that code, it might tell us something, but...
How can we do that?
I told you, we need a key. Without that, it's pointless.
What's the key?
A key is a key. It allows you to sort of unlock a code. The Myrmidons usually use this huge string of numbers as a key.
Wait. A long string of numbers? Could that be? Do I know that? I don't think I do. Well, let's see. We don't know it. Okay, so now it's either we betray? I would just do that, yeah. And this is betraying who?
Result. Thank you. Ambidextrous.
This is a blue door? It's fine, I stepped out of the baby room. I could see the others going running towards the projection, shoving and pushing to get closer. Timmy Yuji was left behind, his footsteps a slow, heavy plod. What had happened to make him like that?
You chose betray, huh?
That's messed up. Well, you said I should.
Hey, I didn't say that. I just asked you a question. What?
It was a leading question. Oh, I get it. Wondering why you were so happy to let me choose after you lost that rock, paper, scissors? You were planning to use me as a scapegoat all along.
Was
all along.
I?
Gosh darn it.
You Siggy! I know! Hey, what are you? We're about to end.
I know.
Anyway, we need to go have a look at the results first. Come on.
Hey, wait. Crap.
Good. Looks like you're all here. Let's get Ambidex game! Round 1! The results!
If everybody would please direct their eyes to this monitor.
It was semi-oldie.
Here are the results from your game. Now, let us check the numbers on our bracelets.
I got betrayed?
He chose ally? Why? He chose betray last time.
What are you talking about?
No, nothing. Trust. The truth was I didn't know why I said that earlier. Or either. Words just kind of appeared out of my mouth before I knew what I was saying.
Oh, you're the one who chose betray. I should be asking you why.
I told him you might choose betray.
By you.
I can't believe you. I'd never choose betray. I trusted you two, and this is what I got.
Ah, I apologize.
Fi, you don't need to apologize. I was the one who did it. I pushed the button.
Yeah, I guess you've got a point.
Huh? Wait, what?
It's Sigma's fault. You want to blame someone, blame him.
What the heck, Fi?
What, you gonna fight each other now? I don't care which one of you pushed the button. I'm never trusting either of you again. This isn't over. Just you wait.
I tried to think something to say, but before I could come up with the right words, he was gone. Spun around. Fi, what the She was gone too. God, what the heck? How should it disappear like that? I looked around the room for Fi and noticed that Clover, Kay, and Luna seemed to be having some kind of argument as well. I'm closer and did my best to listen surreptitiously. Sorry.
Why did you do it? Sorry. I guess I wanted to get out of here as soon as possible, you know?
I apologize, but I felt the same way.
But if we all choose ally, then we could all escape together. It only takes 3 turns to get 6 points. That would be enough to get us out. Why? Well, of course we know that. But if we betray, then it's faster.
If your opponent chooses ally and you choose betray, then you gain 3 points. Do that twice and you get 6 points. You see?
If you ally, then you have to play the AB game 3 times.
But if you betray somebody, you only have to do it twice.
Why are you acting like that's the right thing to do? I almost feel like you're blaming me or something.
We aren't trying to blame you.
But, I mean, if you just think about it. Forget it. I understand now. It was silly of me to trust you guys.
Luna walked off with her head buried between her shoulders. back trembled as if perhaps she was crying, but I couldn't see her face. Alice, Dio, and Quark, however, seemed to be having some issues of their own.
Fine. You just wait.
Man, this is all your fault, Quark.
My fault? Why are you blaming me?
Exchanged dark looks, then stomped off in different directions.
0.
If I had to guess, I'd say it's going to be Tanbioldi, or Alas, or Mooney, or maybe everyone.
What?
Why?
Yeah. Why am I going to die?
I guess I can tell you.
I see. Alice, Luna, and I only have 1 BP. That means we'd have less than 0 if we lost 2 points.
What? What the hell? This is important.
Sigma, what do you want?
What do I want? What, you think I'm here to play doctor? Only if you're secretly Clover.
Tell you what, how about I'll be the doctor? You get on the exam table, and I'll cut you open with that scalpel over there.
Man, are you still pissed?
What the hell do you think? My BP's down to 1 thanks to you.
Come on, I already told you I was sorry.
Yes, and that makes it all better. You goddamn idiot.
Well, then what the heck am I supposed to do?
Piss off.
Yeah, seems like I'm already doing that.
You don't know the half of it. Just get out of my sight.
This is illusion then? Just close your eyes.
Leave before I make yours black. The last guy I fought went home in an ambulance.
Shouldn't have picked a fight with a paramedic then.
Shut up.
Fine. Shoved my hands in my pockets and looked around the room. Is it you and just you in here?
On this side of the divider, yeah.
This side.
Quark's over there, having a look around. And there's... You really gonna make... Yeah, right. Like I'm gonna tell that to someone who betrayed me.
Alright, fine. I'll just ask Quark.
Hey,
Quark?
stop it!
How are we gonna do this? Only one option.
I won't go with Sigma. He betrayed me last time.
About
You
Vi?
hit the button, right, Sigma?
Well, yeah, but
I don't want to go with Dio. Same reason. I can't trust that he won't betray me again.
Thanks a lot, Quark. You've single-handedly torpedoed my reputation.
Well, that leaves us with option B.
No, we can't do option B.
Why not?
Sorry, Luna, but I can't trust you, or Phi either. The way he is right now, someone's going to have to carry Quark. I just can't afford to give him to someone I don't trust.
oh, you trusted Vi?
Not enough for this.
Then what do you intend to do?
Dude, Quark shifted silently in K's arms.
Quark is a solo, as are you, Tenmyoji. Solos can't pair with one another. You do remember that.
Yeah, of course I do. I didn't say there wasn't anyone I trusted. There's one person.
Who do you trust then?
Clover.
What? Me?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Why?
I can't tell you. I just know that you'll keep him safe.
Well, that's nice of you to say, but my partner is Sigma. Are you sure you want me to take him?
It's fine. Clover, you just vote by yourself. Make Sigma wait outside the AB room.
No. If Clover takes Quark, then we have to go with option C, right? That means I'll be stuck with Dio. There's no way in hell I'm going to let that happen.
Who do you want to pair up with then?
Isn't it obvious? Quark. Remember what the announcement said? Something about how the system will automatically vote ally for anyone who doesn't enter their own vote in time? If Quark doesn't wake up by then.
No! This is exactly why I can't trust any of you.
1 minute remains until chromatic doors close.
We don't have time to argue this. Let's take a vote. Those opposed to C?
Alice and Dio's hands went up.
What? Why don't you want C, Dio?
Well, if she's got that much of a hate on for me, that hardly plays into my hands, does it?
Fine, whatever. I assume anyone who didn't raise their hand is all right with option C then?
No one objected. Keep my mouth shut too. As Alice has said, excellent chance that Quark would default to ally. That happened to make a great opponent. I choose ally, of course, but it would be good to not have to worry about him choosing betray.
All right. 6 to 2 in favor.
Wait, what about me?
Stay here if you don't like it. I imagine your partner might have something to say about that, though.
He handed Quark to me gently, and crossed his arms and turned to face Alice. Her jaw clenched as she stared up at him. I could see the gears turning inside her head.
Fine.
10 seconds.
Hurry, Clover. Door's closing.
Right.
Hey! Take care of Quark.
Don't worry about it. Okay, we're gonna be doing a slash marker here. So, Uno second.